everyone, I'm John Lynn, the founder of HitMic, and we're excited to bring you a really special announcement from one of the longtime HitMic supporters and community members, Chris Slocumb. She's president at Clarity Quest, a Supreme agency. Welcome, Chris.
Hi, John. So glad to be here today on this exciting day.
Yeah, I mean, such big news for you. We were going to dive into the news that Clarity Quest has been acquired by Supreme, and it's kind of exciting for me because HitMic is about to transition to Sway Health. Sway.health is going to be the website. And so I think this is going to be like the last HitMic interview as we move to Sway. So I think it's fitting that, over our 10-year journey together as, part of HitMic community, that we end with such an amazing announcement. So to tell us about the announcement.
Absolutely. So honored to be on the last HitMic pod. We started and ending together, right, John?
Sure.
Excited to announce that Clarity Quest has been acquired by the #1 digital B2B life sciences marketing agency in the country, probably in the world, Supreme Optimization, in conjunction with our PE partner, Trinity Hunt Partners out of Dallas.
Okay, nice. Well, I think acquisitions are always so interesting because they show a certain maturity. Ironically, you and I have had this conversation many times. You're like, I feel like it's a huge success when our clients get acquired, because that means we were successful in our marketing. So in some ways, I guess maybe that's a tribute to you and your success too, that you grew so big enough that they wanted to acquire you. Yeah. How did this kind of come together?
Yeah, really. It was a 5-year journey, John. It didn't just come about overnight. I sat down 5 years ago and figured out, how do we bring everything that we do so well to a larger audience, right? And how do we grow to a certain size where we can offer all those services to everyone from an enterprise company all the way down to a Series B. And the quickest way to do that was to get a strategic investment. And so I started looking at partners, and frankly had to kiss a lot of frogs before we found the princess. But ended up in a really, really good place here. With Supreme, we have such symbiosis of culture. And that's what I was really looking for, because as we know, culture is key to everything, right? And so if you try and meld two companies together that don't have similar cultures and values, that's never going to be a good thing. So, how do we grow and get this platform that will allow us to serve more clients, but in a way that was going to keep the same culture and values? And Supreme is great in that respect, a remote agency from day one like us, and also a leadership that's really in line culturally with ours.
Yeah, it is key, right? I've actually seen some, in the health IT world, a lot of companies combine and they don't have that culture fit. And we see a lot of people in the HitMic community that suffer because of it, right? Maybe they had a great marketing culture and they get acquired by someone who's more of a sales culture, and it's pretty rough. So and they don't realize the value that they want. So I think you're right, culture is key. What is the vision behind these combined companies? I think it's interesting. They do more life sciences, you do more health IT. Talk about the vision of the combining of these companies.
Yeah, so we've combined to form the first full stack B2B marketing agency for life sciences and health tech. And what I mean by that is that we can provide everything from foundational services like brand messaging, visual branding, and a marketing plan, which a lot of agencies don't do. Strategic marketing plan as a service. And then all the way up through sophisticated lead generation and ABM and everything in between. So Supreme has got a fabulous website team, e-commerce for the life sciences. We bring our branding and PR with a new growing PR team as well. So we're pushing all those together into a conglomeration we call the Tower of Power,
Nice.
Marketing Tower of Power. And it's been the methodology that we've used here at Clarity Quest to grow those companies to acquisition for 20 years, but we never had a name for it. So now we have branding for it.
I like it. The Tower of Power. What's interesting is the evolution that we've seen, with agencies in this space, over the last 10 years is that, hey, I don't, health IT companies want to go to one place for everything. That they want the full stack of marketing. They don't want to go to one for PR, one for lead generation, one for marketing automation, et cetera. Right. So it seems like you're on trend with that request from clients as well.
Yes, yes. Clients are sick of agency juggling. We hear that all the time. Can you help us with XYZ? Can you help us with ABC? Right. So we'll get in the door with PR, for example, and then they want the full digital stack and one agency that can understand the industry, but then bring them the full breadth of services. So drill down on the industry and then breadth on the services side.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what does this mean for, Clarity Quest customers that are, obviously, clients of yours? What's that going to mean for them?
Yeah, so well, they can expect the same level of quality and responsiveness that we've always given. That creativity and never missed a deadline in 23 years is going to continue. We're going to continue the right brain, left brain. Supreme and Clarity are very much in alignment on those being core values. But then they're going to see things like we've never been able to offer, like really sophisticated custom website development, e-commerce. We have a really interesting R&D project going on right now around analytics and ROI attribution, because what did we hear from most companies in this space? I can't attribute my marketing spend, right? And so there's a company out there on the B2C side, you probably know, Power Digital. We want to become what Power Digital is to fashion and retail. We want to become that to B&B, healthcare and life sciences. So
Nice.
having that stack as well. And then we're going to do much more sophisticated PR, combination of PR and the digital side, which a lot of agencies play in one side or the other, but they don't talk to each other really well. So we're making sure that integration happens. And then Supreme has 45 PhD marketers on staff for the life sciences side. Yeah, that is their core value prop. So we're also going to be expanding in the health IT area so that there's RCM experts, for example, patient engagement experts, folks who know how to market into ambulatory versus acute.
Wow. That's quite the expansion. It's interesting to think about 45 PhD experts. And, I think there is a lot that health IT can learn from life sciences, and vice versa to some degree. I think maybe we're better at the storytelling and they're better at the data in some ways. So it's interesting to see the combination.
I absolutely think so, John. You're dead on there with like the data and analytics sophistication on the life sciences side, and then the storytelling and the caring and getting that patient side across on the health IT side, I think is a little bit better, but now we're starting to see the confluence of all that come together.
Yeah. Well, and data can tell a story too,
Absolutely. You just have to tell it the right way.
So what should the HIPMIC, and obviously as we transition to Sway Health community, what should they need to know about this change?
Well, number one, we're throwing the best party, if I can book that with you. At the next Way Health event, it's on.
Agency Clarity Quest party. Gotcha.
We're having our supreme party and all set. But on the serious side, really being able to offer our customers the full line of services that they want. That's my number one goal here. And sharing that message so that they can get rid of the hassle of managing multiple agencies on that side. And then just offer that complete line of services across enterprise all the way down to Series A. We're really good at the Series A, Series B, and C companies who want to get acquired. Well, now Clarity Quest and Supreme have a lot of companies that are enterprise level. And how do we bring that momentum, that energy to the enterprise company that we brought to the startup community? That's something we're looking to combine as well, because Clarity Quest has now drifted into the enterprise side and been able to do that pretty successfully and bring some of the creativity and momentum and quicker pace over there for marketing. Supreme certainly is across the spectrum from startup to enterprise.
Yeah. What is the difference between someone who may be Series A, Series B versus the enterprise? What are some of the unique attributes of, these and they're not small companies if you're Series A or B, right? You got some cash versus the enterprise. Is it the goals? Is it the methods of how they want to go about it? Or what do you see as kind of the differences between those two?
Yeah. So when we're always speaking to Series A, B, C companies, I'm like, what is the goal here? And it's usually acquisition, right? So they don't only have a growth goal, but they have an acquisition and valuation goal, right? So the way we approach a marketing plan for them is a little bit different. We'll look at bringing on some different levels of PR and getting exposure, right, for them, because it leads into valuation. Design the website a little bit differently, make sure that it speaks to some investor personas, or that next step for them, right? So
Yeah.
it's a little bit different than just a growth mentality. Enterprise will usually come to us and already have some specific goals for marketing in mind, right? Unless they're going public, and that doesn't happen very much these days, right? So they want to say, I want awareness goals here at the top level, I want awareness in the UK, I want lead gen over here, right? So they're much more specific, and we can do a very tailored program to them. Whereas the Series A, Series B startup mentality, it's just like, we don't know what to do, right? Right. Okay. What are your goals? And here's the budget you're going to need to support that. And it has to go across investor awareness and the lead generation goals.
Wow. Interesting. How do you see agencies kind of evolving, and what are you doing to kind of prepare for this evolution? And maybe not just agencies, even, there's certainly technologies, ChatGPT, et cetera, turning
Yes.
things upside down, but how do you see the agencies kind of fitting to this world that's ever evolving? And to be quite frank, it's quite challenging for health IT.
Yeah, it's scary, I think, to a lot of people, because they're like, holy moly, how is this all going to change? Marketing is demanding a higher and higher level of sophistication as well. So I think you're going to continue to see this tech mindset in marketing
Hmm.
melded with the creative mindset, right? And that is the big challenge, I think, for agencies, is how do we become very data driven, but not lose the creativity as well, right? And the
Yeah.
storytelling, as you mentioned, right? So we're focusing on that combination, but also like things like analytics, things like being able to show ROI on spend, things like the merging of AI with ABM, for example. Like, do you really need an ABM to target intent data, or is ChatGPT going to be able to tell you who your top 10 customers are based on what they're searching for in a few months? So we have experts now in a big enough size agency that there's people in the agency focused just on that, not client work, but just on upcoming technology.
Yeah, it is interesting, that mixture of creativity. I'm going back to the Mad Men days, right? Like, where it was all creativity, right? To some
Yeah.
extent, and there was some distribution questions, but it was more about creativity. There was no attribution or different things, right? The attribution was sales increased, So, and yet now we're in this space where that doesn't really cut it, right? Or you need the mix of the two. So yeah, that is quite the evolution, where you need the data, technology, and creativity to deliver results. Interesting.
Absolutely. And hence the tower of power, because you need the foundational creativity with the tech stack and attribution to be truly successful. The companies that do all of those are the ones that we've really seen succeeded.
Yeah. And the tech stack without the creativity isn't very good either. We've
It's
seen.
it's worthless. Yeah, we have a lot of companies who come to us and they're like, oh, we just bought this really amazing tech stack. We're on demand base. We're on this. I'm like, what content do you have? Nothing.
Yeah.
Holy moly, is that the cart before the horse, right?
Yeah. Google will take all of your ads and AdWords dollars, but if you don't have the right ads with the right content and
Right
links to
landing
the right
page,
content,
right conversion
they'll take your
optimization.
money and run.
Exactly, exactly. And so will the ABM platforms and all the ad spend platforms. And then people say, oh, this doesn't work. Well, it didn't work because you didn't have the content and the storytelling and the optimization to support it.
Yeah, fascinating. How about the world of health IT, right? It's been interesting to see how COVID impacted all of it, right? And kind of shifting mindsets. it's been challenging from a budget perspective for many healthcare organizations. But how do you see kind of health IT evolving?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're still looking at an industry that I think in the latest Facts and Factors report is like a $480 billion industry by 2030,
Wow.
right? And all right, with 20% growth rate, compound annual growth rate. So there's still a lot being done here. I'm really fascinated at this new trend popping up where health IT can support not just longevity, but living well. I don't
Hmm.
know if you've read Peter Attia's book, Outlive. It's
No,
the
I haven't.
thing now. I highly recommend it. I'm not paid by Peter, I think, but it's more of people's personal journey and really understanding things like cancer, heart disease, and how, as an industry, the healthcare system has really attacked everything post, diagnosis, and not that whole preventative care. So we're back to, patient-centered medical home from 20 years ago. But coming back to that now, and really how could health tech help people get not only longevity, but the quality of life they want when they're 100, right? They still want to be able to lift their great grandkids off the
Yeah.
floor, for example. So things like wearables, remote monitoring, data. We're starting to see a lot of confluence of the B2B, B2C side of that, with the data side, with like even drug remote monitoring combinations with devices there. So I think the whole health IT side is going to explode on that wearables and remote monitoring side to get people where they want to be with quality of life. And then short term, we're seeing a lot, as you mentioned, with hospitals' bottom lines being read, anything to do with revenue cycle management, chronic care management, where they can get money on the back end. There's not a lot of outspend on the front side to the health systems, but back end revenue.
Interesting. Well, we kind of come full circle. I don't know if you remember at the very first HITMIC, a guy named Thomas Knoll gave a presentation, B to B to H, which was B to B to human, right? Which is what I think you just described, right? And that evolution of needing to reach the humans, right? The patients that are going to be impacted by the solutions that we do. So yeah, I'm excited to see your progression, and this is really exciting news. Supreme is lucky to have an agency like Clarity Quest as part of the team now, so I'm excited to see everything evolve, Chris. So thank you for sharing this insights, and I feel like I need to do this, the a little tease, because there's a book coming out. Chris's book is coming out, so I'll throw that tease out there for you. I know once you write a book, you have to become a book salesperson, so you know. Watch for that as well. So exciting news to get acquired, and also, I know your book's just down the road a little bit too. So thanks so much, Chris, for taking the time to talk with us.
Thanks, John. Thanks for the plug. Stop Starvation Marketing. My book will be out in September.
Woohoo! Yeah, congratulations.
Thank
So
you.
many big milestones. Well, thanks so much, and thanks everyone from the HITMIC and eventually Sway Health communities. Appreciate you for watching, and be sure to go check it out, all the other information at hitmic.com or sway.health. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, John.